As you can tell from the title, this is a list of my favorite free writing advice sources. There are a lot of other authors whose advice I also like, but 5 is an easy number, so let's go with that. Specifically, this list is tuned towards fiction writing advice, since that's what I do and that's what I watch. Links will be in the description for all of the people I mention, in no particular order. Alexa Dunn is a traditionally published YA author who gives publishing and craft advice on her channel. Her writing hacks and longer discussion videos are full of helpful information, and she's good at communicating in a really accessible way. Her videos about publishing, getting an agent, and the YA market are also worth looking into if you'd like to be traditionally published, but don't know a lot about the business side of it yet. She puts out videos 2 to 3 times a week, and they're consistently helpful and enjoyable, so check out the link in the description if you'd like. Ellen Brock is an editor and writer who makes a lot of great videos on structure and revision on her channel. She also has more specific videos about prose or certain editing techniques, which are all really helpful, but my favourites are the ones on scene and act structure. I found she explained it in a really practical, understandable way that I could immediately start using in my own writing. Even if you prefer not to outline or plan your stories, I'd still say to check out a few of her videos and see if you can incorporate some tips into your drafting or editing processes. She's recently started making videos more regularly, so go check her out. Writing Excuses is a well-known writing podcast, so you may have already heard of it, but it really is good. Their backlog in particular is incredible. If you need to brush up on a certain subject, it's worth seeing if there's an entire season of Writing Excuses about it. The podcast brings on guests to help them deal with topics outside of the main host's expertise, which means that they're a pretty good source for a wide variety of writing business and writing related topics. Pointing to a favourite episode is pretty tough since there are so many, but I'll point out in particular Season 11 Episode 3, because this episode covers a really interesting part of Sanderson's elemental genre theory. Their current season is about responding to listener questions, which means it's a great time to listen and get a broad range of topics covered. They update about once a week. Helping Writers Become Authors is a blog and podcast written by KM Weiland with all sorts of writing craft advice. There are so many things I've learned from her blog over the years, but the one I'd point you to as a favourite is her article and podcast on truth charts. It's a model of how you can progress your character's arc over the course of a story, and I found it pretty helpful. If you sign up for her newsletter, you can also get a couple of free short ebooks on craft, and the one on 3-act structure is a good quick explainer. I also have to shout out her book Crafting Character Arcs. It isn't free, but it is very good if you're struggling with how your character arcs should fit into a plot structure. I often find myself rereading a certain chapter before I write, just to refresh myself on what I need to be achieving. She posts about once a week, and you can always go and troll through the archives for any topics you might need help with. Brandon Sanderson is one of the hosts of Writing Excuses, so it's kind of unfair that he gets 2 spots on the list, but he does. He teaches a class at BYU every year, and posts the lectures to YouTube, which means you can take the majority of a university-level writing course for free. His teaching is easy to understand and focuses on the practical problems sci-fi and fantasy authors face. The videos are helpful in general, but certain lectures are more tuned to the needs of sci-fi fantasy novelists. In particular, having world-building and magic systems have their own lectures. I'll include links to both this year's course and a previous year's course, so you can watch whichever suits. All of these are great places to learn more about writing. If you like this video or any of the creators I mentioned, feel free to stick around here too. I'll be making videos about writing and storytelling here about once a month. Small actions can make a big difference for a small channel, and hitting the like and subscribe buttons are small actions you can take that really help me out.